Hey guys, I know we're all staying in right now and we're all trying to come up with delicious things to eat. And one thing that I keep getting asked about is how do you make chicken stock? It's actually really simple, and it's a great thing to have in your fridge or in your freezer because there's a million things you can do with it. You can make sauces, you can make soups. There's just so many uses for it. And of course, it's really good for you just to be drinking it, right? We all know the health benefits of bone broth and making your own stocks. All you need is some roast chickens. Now, you can do it two different ways. Chicken stock can be a white stock or a brown stock, we call it. I'm going to show you how to make a brown stock because I think it's easier and I think that you probably have access to this stuff all the time. So over here, I have a couple of roasted chickens. I've let them cool down a little bit, okay? Beautiful roast chickens, and I threw veggies in the bottom. Now, whether you're roasting your own chickens or whether you're buying them, frankly, as rotisserie chickens, they both work brilliantly, right? Here's what you do. You take the chicken and you're going to remove the skin and the bones and the meat because you're going to use the meat for a chicken pot pie or to make sandwiches with, or maybe you're even going to just have it for dinner. That's fine, but I want the bones and that delicious skin because that's going to give it a ton of flavor. You get yourself a knife, you break the chicken down. So again, it doesn't have to be pretty and it doesn't have to take a long period of time, but the easiest way to do this, of course, is to remove the legs. Okay, so you're just going to pop those legs off just like that. 1 and 2, and then go straight down that breastplate to remove both breasts. So on either side of that, and just with a real simple incision, that should open up. So you see it's still nice and warm. It's only been roasted a little while. Now if you wanted to serve the breasts and the legs, that's absolutely fine. The only thing I would ask is you keep the entire carcass intact. Lots of gelatin in the wings, right? So the wings are great for making stock too. And what I sort of do is I keep all of the meat to one side, and then the rest, I just toss it back into my roasting dish, veggies and all. I've got a bit more time on my hands. We've all got that right now, don't we? And you know, you're trying to think of fun things to do with the kids. A million different soups. Chicken noodle soup, like a chicken egg drop soup is a really delicious Asian style soup. So many things. And I think whenever we're sort of hunkering down and wanting that comfort food, soups always come to mind. Don't forget this, lots of gelatin, lots of flavor. Now I stuffed my chickens with lemon. I'm going to remove the lemon because I don't want the sour flavor in the stock, but everything else, all those vegetables, all that caramelization, that's all going to go in. Now don't forget, if you want to go through this with a finer hand, please do, because all of this chicken meat is great. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's not really going to flavor the stock that much, so you want to keep this for salads, for sandwiches, for all of the things that you would normally be using your chicken meat for. You might want to flip it over. And again, there's those delicious little oysters, these beautiful pieces right here. See that? Delicious succulent piece of chicken. So we'll keep those guys. But what I said before, I'm interested in the skin and I'm interested in the bones for my delicious stock. So we're left here with chicken pieces, both thighs and breasts. I'm going to go ahead and remove the skin, put it back in, remove the skin off those thighs, take out the thigh bone and any sort of cartilagey pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and toss that back into my pot. So you're taking all of the bones, you're dropping them into here and keeping all of the chicken right there. Then I'm just going to break this up and make that beautiful for like a chicken pot pie. Okay, so we've got a mountain of chicken. That's going to turn into a beautiful chicken pot pie. But here, you'd normally be scraping this into the trash can, wouldn't you? Into the garbage. Well, you're not. Not today. We're going to turn it into a beautiful stock. So here's what you do. You bring a pot over here. You go ahead. Now, normally, to make a roasted chicken stock or a brown chicken stock, what you'd have to do is roast off the bones, roast off the vegetables. Well, guess what? We've already done all that. Very simple. And now we just toss it all in, the whole lot. Then what we're going to do is deglaze this pan a little bit. We're going to get some beautiful lift off that fond, it's called, that beautiful color that's on the bottom of the pan, because that's going to make for great stock as well. So that goes back onto the heat. I'm going to put a little water. All right, you grab your stock pot. We're going to fill it up with water, and then we're just going to let it simmer really low, really slow, and it is going to be amazing. All right, you guys, here's what happens. We bring this up to the boil because I put just a little bit of water. Check it out. See in there? And see how all those little brown bits on the bottom of the pan have lifted off, right? You might want to get a wooden spoon and scrape in there a little bit and make sure you get them all off. But I'm pretty happy with that. I've got all that flavor and all that incredible color. Gorgeous. Get rid of that for the time being. And then all you want to do is top it up with cold water. So turn it on high to start because you want to bring your stock to the boil relatively quickly. All of that delicious flavor in there. We're going to just add some water. Once it's covered, we turn the water off, of course. But then most importantly, we turn it down to a simmer and we just gently let it boil and let it extract all that incredible flavor from the chicken bones and all of the vegetables that we've put in there as well. You can already see all that flavor just oozing out of that beautiful caramelization. Once you get it pretty much to the top, you go ahead and turn off the water. It's going to come up to the boil, and then what you're looking for is what we call a rolling boil. So you might want to pull the pan ever so slightly to one side of that heat source, maybe like that. And then the water's going to boil like that. It's going to push all the fat and all the impurities to one side. And if you want to skim them off, you can. To be honest, do you have to? It's not going to be a disaster if you don't. It's only going to be on for a couple of hours, and then we're going to strain it, and we'll have a delicious chicken stock done like that. So now you can see what I mean by rolling boil. It's boiling over here, and over here it's not. So all the fresh stock is coming up right there, so you can see that beautiful clear liquid. Let's have a taste. Oh, it's so rich and delicious. It is beautiful. All that flavor that's come out, and now doesn't exist in the meat and the bones and the skin. It exists in your stock. You've taken it all, which is exactly what you wanted to do. Let's get another little look over here. Now, that's the stock. That's that beautiful clean stock. Over here, on the other hand, you'll see this sort of oil. See how oily that is? So you're pushing all the oil off. So that's really cool. All right, this is down far enough. Doesn't have to reduce anymore. So the next thing you need is colander or some kind of strainer and something to catch your stock in. Bring it on over and pour it in. Yeah, let that strain off for a minute. Pick it up. And what you've got. A beautiful pot of homemade, gorgeous dark brown chicken stock. So go ahead, make a delicious soup. I could just sit here and watch this all day long. It looks beautiful. Or go ahead and freeze half of it and keep that for next time and then use half of it right now. Now you can strain it through a fine mesh sieve or even a muslin cloth if you want, but the truth is, you don't need to. I've got this pretty fancy contraption over here that allows all the fat to settle on the top, and down the bottom where all the stock is, when I press the button, that way you don't get any fat in your stock. More than genius. One for today, one for the freezer.